Hello and welcome to another review of Drones Visual. I decided to make a review about a brush quad because it has been a while since I have done one and because I didn't see much information about this quad online. Today I have here with me the MJX X102H, which seems to be the latest creation from MJX. There are a couple of interesting things about the 102. Despite being a brush quad, the 102 can take your favorite action cam up to the skies. Yes, it comes with a mount for a GoPro or any other action cam, and not only this, it can also use its own 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi camera, allowing you to fly FPV, but this version does not come with the FPV camera, so I will just use my GoPro. When it comes to functionality, we will see a few nice features such as auto takeoff and landing, headless mode, return home, which we will test better in my next video, but this quad, remember, is not equipped with a GPS. Let me tell you that because I have only one battery, we will split this review in two parts. So here I will cover some things and in the next video the others. So let's go now for the unboxing and let's see what we can find inside the box. The first thing that we will find inside the box is the instruction manual. I must say it does not hurt to actually read it, so go for it. Then we have the battery. This is a 2S or 7.4 volts battery with a capacity of 1600 milliamps and a GST connector. And something I would like to do is to show you the measurements of dimensions of this battery, so you know basically more or less how big it is. This is an approximate. I mean, it's not exactly, but you sort of get the idea in case you want to use your own battery or replace it. The next thing we'll find inside the box are the prop guards, which are gigantic, and I personally don't use them, but I certainly recommend you to use them because the shaft holding the props, it's made of plastic, so you need to protect it. And here are the props included with the X102. As you can see, there are two sets of props and they seem to be pretty strong, so I think it will be hard for you to break them even during a collision. Here I will show you a little bit the measurements of the props. They're not really that important, but just in case you want to know. Then this that you can see here is the frame or mount for the action cam. I will show you that a little bit later in the video with more details. And these two units here are the landing gear of the MJX X102H, and they seem to be durable and flexible, so I think it should be they should be able to handle the weight of the aircraft. And this is the battery charger. I probably won't use it, I'll use my own balance charger, but I mean, you can still use this one. Then this is the transmitter, all white and shiny, as it just came out of a washing machine. Then to secure the landing gear, props and prop guards, we have this collection of screws. Good luck figuring out which screw goes where, and a tiny screwdriver that can help you secure those screws. Finally, here we have the MJX X102H, looking like an alien spacecraft from Star Trek. I've never actually watched Star Trek, but I assume they look like that. The front section has this curvy and nice design with those big blue LEDs in the front, and then these are the arms and the compartments that house and protect the motors. And here's how the quad looks from the side. Very curvy design indeed. The plastic which forms the canopy is made of a rather good plastic. I think it's not gonna break easily. And then you have probably already noticed that the props of this quad are facing downwards, so the bottom of the motors is facing upwards, and it can be clearly seen here, as you can see. Then if we look under, we will see that the plastic shaft that the shaft holding those props is made of plastic, and I really don't like that, but well, that's the way it is, you know. I think I like more metallic or like metal shafts. And then of course we have LEDs. In the front section of the quad we will find blue LEDs, as you can see over here. And then if we move to the rear section of the quad, we will find red LEDs for better orientation during night flight. Now all the motors are labeled with either the letters A or B, so you will know where to place the props right. The props are also actually labeled, and I will show you later. Next to the battery compartment, we will find a switch to power the quad once the battery has been connected, and next to it seems to be the connector for the MJX camera that will be included in some versions, but this version does not come with the camera. And then we can see obviously the GST connector for the battery, that I showed you before. Right under the quad we have this plastic structure which is not only in charge of supporting the battery, but it also serves as an attachment point for any MJX camera, and also to mount the frame or bracket or whatever that holds the action camera. You'll see 4 dampening rubber bolts that might reduce vibration, but don't expect smooth video with this kind of quads. Next, let's cover then the transmitter. I think we have seen enough, how this quadcopter looks like in terms of design. So I think we can go ahead and cover the transmitter. The first thing we have here at the bottom is the display, and I will show you very basic info such as flying modes, percentage input, and so on. And then if we move a little bit further above, we will find the trim buttons. One is on the left and the other one is on the right. So you can use it to trim your quad in case it's flying irregularly. Then right next to the throttle on the right, you'll find the photo or video button that will allow you to capture images or videos if you are using the MJX camera module, which I'm not using in this quad because it doesn't come with it. Then the next little button on the right is another trim button for the elevator. In case you have any regular flying, you can just try to trim it there. And then we have 2 buttons here on the right corner. Let me zoom in. The first one will allow you to switch between L and H, low and high flying modes. Just press it once, to switch. And then the second button has no function, at least as the instruction manual says. Then, just as in the right corner, if we move to the left corner, there are 2 buttons there. The first button is called the function 1 button, and it can allow you to enter or exit headless mode, execute the return home function, and turn on or off the indicator lights. Then the second red button allows you to unlock the motors and execute the auto takeoff and landing functions. And then of course in the middle we have here the power switch and also the LED that will indicate you when the binding process has been completed. If we look at the rear section of the transmitter, we'll find the battery compartment, and there are 4 AA batteries that you need to use. They don't come included, so just keep that in mind. Then each propeller is labeled with a letter, either A or B, so you will know exactly to what motor they belong, as these motors are also labeled just as you saw before. Now let's proceed to place the props. First we find the right motor, then we insert the props on the shaft, and we will need to make a bit of pressure to make sure that that is properly inserted. Once the prop is properly attached, we can go ahead and get a screwdriver and then secure the screw in place. And this is how the 102 looks with the 4 props in place. In theory it should be ready to fly now, but let's go ahead and place the landing gear, which is obviously important. Then for the landing gear you have 3 screws. You can see them here. I'm pointing at them right now, and they also come included, of course. Placing the landing gear is very easy. I think you won't have any problems with that, but anyways I'll show you just in case you have some doubts. I mean, some of you might be beginning to fly and maybe feel insecure about this. And now the bird has a couple of legs, and you can see that it's actually quite tall, so you'll have enough space there to place your action camera, and it will definitely not touch the ground. Now personally I won't use the prop guards, but just in case, if you like to use them, which I actually recommend you to use, you can place them right here, and then the screws to secure them in place are also included. Let's now cover the action camera support or frame. This is a lock here on the side. To open it you need to make some real pressure, but don't be afraid of breaking it, it won't. This will allow you to open the frame, as you can see here, and place your action camera inside. In my case I'll be using my GoPro Hero 4 Black, but to tell you the truth I don't feel very good. I mean, I don't trust this quad to take my cam, but anyways I'll try it just for the sake of taking some good footage from above. Something I just noticed when placing the camera inside the bracket is that this support of frame is a little bit too wide for a GoPro or a Xiaomi action cam, or too deep, I'll say. So the GoPro or Xiaomi cams, they will sort of like dance a little bit, they kind of loose inside its frame, so this could cause a lot of vibration, and you'll see that later in the video when we go out to fly. So you need to find some kind of a rubbery thing or something and insert it there in between the frame and the camera. Otherwise the video is gonna be really shaky and your camera is gonna be moving from one place to another, so keep that in mind. Let's now insert the frame in the gimbal or support that is attached to the quad. To do this, it's enough to actually slide it into this sort of shoe that it has there, and it'll be ready. And here you can actually see how it looks like with the camera mounted on it. Something you need to consider is that there is no way to access the GoPro record button, so if you're not using the app or the remote control, you need to basically turn on the camera first and start recording before you go out, before you start flying, I mean, and because you see you won't be able to access the record button. Okay, so now we are outdoor and ready to fly the X102H, to take it to the skies. It is very windy today and not the best conditions to fly a brush quad in general, but these are good conditions to test this one. So to power the quad, we go on, we get to the switch there on the rear that I showed you right before, and then once you hear the sound and the things, you basically turn on the transmitter, and then you can basically unlock the models with the red button that I just showed you now. And once you press the button, the models will unlock and start spinning, and then you can either use the sticks to take off, or you can use that button again. If you press it once more, you'll basically be activating the auto takeoff function. Let's try it, and here the quad goes. Okay, so here we have the MJX X102H, and as I mentioned a while ago, it is a very windy day today. The wind is sort of blowing from the left and the front, pushing the quad backwards and to the right. So I need to be correcting its position constantly. I do feel the altitude hold kicking in, but ideally I will need to try better with less wind. I do feel this quad is very stable in this mode. I'm pretty sure that during a calm day you can pretty much let go of the sticks and the quad will remain in place with little to no drift. This quad seems to be another gentle giant like the Xiaomi CX35, but to test that better, I'll try doing a few circles around here to see how it feels, because just hovering around here in front of the camera won't tell me much. So okay, here we go, and then I fly away from the camera, and I need to fight the wind and the quad feels a little bit slow. Nonetheless, it is managing to fly pretty much against the wind. The yaw rate in this mode is of course extremely slow, and then again, this is done to help beginners and also to prevent sharp turns when you're recording video. You don't want your quad to be over responsive when you're recording video, otherwise the video will be all shaky, although you'll still get tons of vibration in your video with this kind of quads. As the quad flies towards the camera, it gains a lot of momentum and it feels kind of fast, but that's just because the wind is giving it a hand. Still, this flying style is characteristic of this type of quads. I have come to call them gentle giants or flying dinosaurs because of the large size and slow flying speeds. I wish I had tried the previous MJX X101, but I have not tried it yet, so I'll be looking forward to some feedback from the community out there or from the people that have already tried it in regards how it compares to this one. I wish I could tell you a little bit more about how they compare, but like I said, I have not tried the 101 yet. Maybe I can do that later. So okay, I have been now circling around for a while already, and it feels alright. I mean, it's flying perfectly fine, for this sort of quad. The wind slows it down a bit, but other than that, the quad seems to be handling the situation pretty well, I would say. I won't do a range test right now because I'm not sure how the quad will react on the event of signal loss. If the transmission gets caught, I'm not sure what it will do. So we will leave that to some other time. So okay, I mean, I have done enough flying in what I would call the first flying mode. This is getting a little bit boring now, so what I will do is basically switch flying modes, and let's try the so-called H or high flying mode, which is supposed to give you higher yaw rates and a more aggressive flying style. I just changed now, and definitely now, hey, guess what? It's definitely gaining some more speed now and it's way more aggressive. I don't know if you notice, but it's definitely getting some speed now. Now we're talking. I suspect that this quad had a few more power hitting somewhere, and there you go. Yups. This is flying mode 2, pretty fast flying, I would say. I mean, it surprised me a little bit. It's kind of like going Super Saiyan now. It seems to be going over 9,000, just like the video says. The only annoying thing is that it seems to be climbing a bit as I go full throttle. I'm pitching it forward with the elevator, but as soon as I release a bit, having the throttle to the bottom, the quad climbs up very fast, and then I need to bring it down. But yeah, I mean, this flying mode, it's definitely fun. I mean, it has some hidden power here. This is where you want to race with Charpu. Nah, I'm just kidding about that. I mean, hopefully he's not watching my video and then puking at the same time. But all jokes aside, there is a nice boost in performance, and in this second flying mode, you can feel definitely more power. I didn't feel so much difference, for example, in the Xiaomi CX35, but this quad is delivering more in the second flying mode. It's nice that I have some space here to push this quad around. You wouldn't believe me how hard it is to find a flying spot in this city. I think it's harder than to find a parking spot in downtown New York during rush hour. So there's nothing more enjoyable than flying now where the temperatures are reaching 38 degrees. I love flying at this time because people are just so scared of the heat here that they basically all hide, and that means less interference when flying. So okay, I need to bring this fellow down now. He's going up again, trying to reach the sky. Let's bring that naughty fellow down, and before I lose sight of it. And okay, now I'm thinking that actually the 102 has surprised me a little bit with this flying mode, as I mentioned before. So that's a good thing, and you have been a little bit surprised also to see this gentle flying dinosaur actually, gaining some serious speed. The battery seems to be holding quite well. I have been now flying for over 6 minutes, and the quad is not giving me any signs of having a low battery. It's still flying well, but before I run out of batteries, I need to show you a bit of the footage from the GoPro, as I'm sure you're eager to see how things look from up there. Now it is time to mount the GoPro on the quad and see how things look from above. If you remember, I showed you that the GoPro was very loose within the frame. I wanted to use some piece of foam or rubber to prevent the camera from shaking inside the frame, but I forgot, and as a result, the footage taken from the camera looks like like the big earthquake of San Francisco. I'll just show you a fragment of the recorded video, otherwise you might get dizzy. What I intend to do in the next video is to secure the camera properly, better, using those foams or rubbery things. And then I'll show you some more footage from the camera, not this super shaky footage that you actually see now. Well, I think that I have said enough today about the MJX X102H. Let's wrap it up and go to the conclusions. First, let me list what I like about this quad, and then I'll go to the negative sides, what I found what I didn't like. Sorry. First, it seems well built. Except those plastic gears. The shaft where the props insert, don't like that's made of plastic. It comes equipped with a decent fast flying mode, as you saw, so you don't die of boredom while flying. Basically you can take your favorite action cam to the skies, and you can also get the MJX cam to fly FPV with it using your smartphone. Last, the X102H offers an auto takeoff and landing functions, which can be handy for beginners, and altitude hold as well. What I did not like so much about it was the fact that the shaft that on the gears that hold the props, or where the props are mounted, is made of plastic. Then the action cam also is way too loose within the frame or mount that holds it, and that makes your video shaky like hell. Also, while flying the MJX X102H, you'll hear a lot of noise coming from the props. It's kind of like a racing bike or something like that. In my next video, I will look at the return home function, at the headless mode, and we will also try recording some more footage using the GoPro again, but then I'll secure the camera properly in place so it won't be as shaky as now. Well, I certainly hope my video was helpful in one way or another. Please feel free to drop me some comments with anything you might want to know about this quad, and I'll certainly get back to you. Also, if I have said something silly, you can definitely correct me, and we will all benefit from that. If you like the topic of drones, quads, and would like to get the latest news and reviews directly from China, please subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you all in my next video.